Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Normal here, and in this video we're going to do a detailed review of the new Oppo F17 Pro. So the F series from Oppo has been really popular in the 20 to 30k price segment. We have seen the Oppo F15 launched earlier this year back in Jan 2020. Now we have the Oppo F17 Pro with a pretty good hardware being offered. So how good is the device for rupees 22,990? That's the retail pricing of this device. So let's find out in this detailed review. So if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's get started with a detailed review. First up, let's have a look at the design and build quality. Now design is something which is really great on the Oppo F17 Pro. So the moment you look at the back panel and hold the device in your hand, that's where the beauty of the device lies in. It's one of the lightest device out there with just 160 odd grams, and even the design language looks really good. We have a dual layer finishing with a squarish camera layout. This kind of a different layout tried by Oppo. We have LED flash, the Oppo branding, and this feels really nice. It's also slim device, extremely lightweight and compact form factor. The form factor is something which is really well done by Oppo because it feels really compact, lightweight, and also one-handed use is extremely easy with this device. So design wise, we feel Oppo has done a brilliant job with making the device extremely compact and lightweight. Now we have a punch hole camera. In fact, this is a dual punch hole camera and a full HD resolution display, and you also get a quad camera setup and pretty neatly integrated everything. So design language is really good on this device. Now if you look at the build quality, now we are seeing a pattern from most of the brands that plastic or rather polycarbonate material is making a comeback. We have seen the Oppo Reno 4 Pro also coming with a polycarbonate material, but here you can see that the polycarbonate material is really good. The fit and finish looks really premium. Even though it's made of polycarbonate, the overall finishing looks really great, and this definitely gives a good feel altogether. Premiumness is there and the matte finish adds to the beauty. So even though it's a polycarbonate material, we feel this is a pretty good build quality from Oppo on the F17 Pro. Now moving on to the display. Now this device comes with an Super AMOLED display. That's one of the good aspects. You can see that it's a really vibrant, colorful and crisp display, and the viewing angles are excellent on this device, and we have Corning Gorilla Glass 3 Plus support, and you get an in-display fingerprint scanner as well. So it's pretty well loaded, and the display quality is really good. The touch response feels very smooth. It's not a 90Hz panel. That's something which we feel Oppo could have done, but then again it's an AMOLED panel and 90Hz becomes more expensive. So that's probably the reason they have stick to AMOLED panels, and this is a standard refresh rate. So even with the standard refresh rate, it feels quite good, and this is definitely a great display in this price segment. Now talking about the software, so one thing what we have been saying about the Oppo's smartphones is the ColorOS, how it has evolved from the previous version. Now this device comes with ColorOS 7.2, so that's the latest version of ColorOS. Even though ColorOS 11 has been announced, it's still in beta version. So we have the ColorOS 7.2 on top of Android 10. We have 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage offered. There's just one variant allowed. Now talking about the other features, so you do get a lot of features. Convenience tool, if you go there, you have the option to customize the navigational button, assistive ball, smart sidebar, gestures and motion. There are plenty of gestures and motions to try out. Then you also get the support for customization, app cloner, game space, split screen. Then a lot of features are offered. It's a really good UI. In fact, you can see that it has app drawer as well, and the notification toggles also looks pretty good and well arranged. So ColorOS 7 has been really good in terms of optimizations, and even the memory management feels really nice. So that's the ColorOS on the Oppo F17 Pro. Now talking about the performance, so this is a device which is powered by the MediaTek Helio P95 octa-core processor. This is where we feel Oppo F17 Pro actually feels a bit underpowered, because at 22 or rather 23,000 price segment, we feel Oppo should have gone with a slightly better processor. And even though the Helio P95 is not a very powerful chipset, but it still does a decent job here. Now day-to-day tasks are really smooth. You can see that no lags, and switching between apps is again effortless. The memory management is also pretty good, and overall it does a decent job altogether in terms of day-to-day usage, which includes WhatsApp, calls, browsing, then email, social media. So those things, if you combine, this does a decent job in terms of day-to-day performance. Now gaming experience is quite okay. It may not be the best device for gaming out there because the processor is not a really high-end processor for the 23K price segment, but still it does a decent job. We have done a detailed gaming video, you can also check out that video. There was no major lags or issues, it was quite okay, but you may not get high graphic option, especially if you are playing in high graphic settings. Those options might not be there for this chipset because it's not a very powerful chipset out there. So that's the performance side. Now this device has in-display fingerprint scanner, which is really good, and face unlock is extremely fast. You can see that it's very fast face unlock, and the in-display fingerprint scanner is also extremely fast in unlocking the device. So that's the fingerprint scanner and face unlock performance. Now call quality again is very good. It has voltage support, and voice over Wi-Fi support is also included on this device. Now speaker quality is kind of okay. We have bottom firing speakers, and speaker quality is kind of good on this device. Now moving on to the camera. So we have a quad camera setup. We have a primary 48 megapixel sensor, then we have an ultra wide angle sensor. Two depth sensors are included. There is no macro sensor, instead of it has dual portrait sensors. It's dual sensors included. Now on the front panel it has a dual selfie camera. It's a 16 megapixel selfie camera, and there is also a depth sensor included here. So that's the camera aspect of the Oppo F17 Pro. Now let's talk about the camera quality. Now looking at the camera quality, one thing what you could say is that the daylight shots have come pretty good. The colors are pretty rich and detailed, and there is pretty good sharpness levels on offer as well. We have done a detailed camera review of this device. You can also check out that video to see how good the image quality is. In fact, this definitely does a decent job in terms of imaging. The ultra wide angle camera also came out quite well. There's no macro sensor. That's something which Oppo could have done, or other something different. Instead of having a two depth sensor, dual portrait sensor, probably that's something which Oppo has done differently here. Now portraits are in the best out there. When we reviewed, we mentioned that portraits could have improved because the overall white balance wasn't that great. Now the close-up shots also came out quite well. Now low light experience is definitely decent again. We did not see any major issues. In fact, the low light performance with the low light mode turned on came out quite well overall, and you do get decent options in the camera department. Now the selfie camera also turned out to be quite good in terms of overall performance, especially the dual selfie camera. So if you look at the camera as a whole, most users won't be disappointed, but there is still room for improvement, especially the selfie experience as well as the portraits, which we feel could have improved, especially with Oppo bringing this as a camera centric smartphone. Now finally, the battery life. This has a 40-15 mAh capacity battery, and this has 30 watt Whoop fast charging, and it charges the device in less than an hour. Around 55 minutes it takes to charge. We got around 61 minutes, but then it's still good. It's the Whoop 4.0 charging, and the battery performance of this device is really good. You can easily get 1 day of battery life with the Oppo F17 Pro. So battery life is again good for the form factor and the capacity it offers. Now summing up, how good is the Oppo F17 Pro at 22,999? So Oppo F17 Pro is definitely a good device with a great display, good design and build quality. In fact, the lightweight and compact form factor is something which is really good. It also is a stylish device, great display, good software performance, and then decent set of cameras, good battery life, and you get 30 watt fast charging. So the only area probably we feel Oppo should have done better is providing a better chipset here. The Helio P95 isn't a bad chipset, but it's still not a great chipset for this price segment. So that's one area where we feel Oppo should have done better, providing a slightly better overall chipset at 23K price segment. But if you're not really worried about the processor or the gaming abilities, but you want a really great stylish device which offers good overall experience, then the Oppo F17 Pro is a good device to buy at 23K price segment. So that is a detailed review of the Oppo F17 Pro. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.